Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness has come out in theaters worldwide. It's got a great cast, a great story, great horror elements, and it's overall a very solid film. And there's a whole bunch of Easter eggs as well. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about something that people may not have noticed. I am Demi, and I am from the Loading Time podcast, where we talk everything nerd culture. And there's going to be heavy spoilers for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and WandaVision, and Shang-Chi. So if you haven't watched any of those, like this video, subscribe, go back and watch them, and come back and watch this. So there's going to be heavy spoilers. You have been warned. There's a lot going on with this Multiverse of Madness thing, and they might be moving into the incursions from the comics and the elements of even Doctor Doom and all that kind of stuff, which we are going to talk about on our podcast, so make sure you are subscribed. But there is something that I did notice, maybe just some things that are, maybe I'm pulling at, this is like a reach, but I've just found these elements quite interesting. And I feel like there could be maybe a link to Shang-Chi here. So the premise of each film is about a villain, a kind of villain that's kind of sympathetic, and they are looking for their family. So if you watch Shang-Chi, Wenwu, otherwise known as the Mandarin, is looking for his wife. His wife had died, and he's in mourning, he's grieving, and he is being taken advantage of by something called the Dweller in Darkness. And that is the premise of this film, is that he feels like he can bring his wife back to life using this doorway to another land and all that kind of stuff. And Shang-Chi and the people that follow him have to go and stop him, otherwise he's going to, basically the whole world is going to end. Because what is happening in this film is that Wenwu is being taken advantage of by this spiritual, this otherworldly, other universe, other dimension kind of thing that is like, hey, you can get your loved one back, but it's a lie. So, and he releases it, and obviously he dies and all that kind of stuff. And when you watch all that, if you watch the film, it has a big dragon, which I really don't like, and I feel like I have my criticisms of this film, which you can find on our podcast. So, shameless plug. But going back to this, there is a very interesting similarity with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I thought, we all thought, maybe it'll be Nightmare that'll be the villain, or it'll be Chthon or something like that, or Mephisto, which is probably not going to be the case for a long time. But it's the premise of Shang-Chi and the premise of Multiverse of Madness are quite similar. You have the character Wanda, who is the sympathetic villain who just wants to get her loved ones back. If you watch WandaVision, she had her children, she lost her children, and she's still grieving that. She might have dealt with the grief to do with Vision, but evidently there's still some grief left there for the children who we don't even know are real. In the post-credits of WandaVision, you can see that Wanda has gotten hold of the Darkhold, and she is looking through it, astral projecting and all that kind of stuff, and she hears voices of her children saying, help me, help me, help me. This is very similar to what Wenwu was hearing with his wife, with the whole help me, and that was clearly not his wife, but this was an entity that wanted to come into the 616 universe, or that dimension. I don't know if it was from another universe, but it wanted to come into move into that dimension after being trapped, right? I feel like it is the same as WandaVision. So in WandaVision, she's being corrupted by this book, and this book is making her go through different universes in order to get her children back. But then again, those children aren't her children, they are other Wanda's children. And this is the thing that's quite similar. Perhaps, where they're probably dealing with the incursions and all that kind of stuff, but perhaps there's a bigger story here, in that these people are being manipulated by people like Chthon and the Dweller in Darkness, who are trapped in another realm and want to come out, and they need a vessel to do that, or they need someone to break some kind of doorway or whatever it is. In the comics, we all know that Wanda is a vessel for Chthon, and if you've never heard of Chthon is the maker of the Darkhold, and he uses Wanda as a vessel so he can come into the 616 world and take over. Perhaps might just be conjecture, but perhaps the MCU is leading towards something where there are all these entities from another dimension that want to come into the 616 universe and take over. And we're probably going to see a lot more of these of these weird ass weird things. It's gonna get even weirder. Yes, I think the incursions are without a doubt something that's happening, but there might be something that they're joining in there. And there was also, you know, even in the first Doctor Strange, you can see that Dormammu wanting to come into, leave his dimension and take over the world, or whatever it is, take over the dimension, Doctor Strange's dimension. You can see these kind of things happening over and over again, and I don't think that's the last we're going to see of it. And one thing, I don't think it's the last we're going to see of Wanda either, because whoever dies off screen, you can pretty much assume that they're not dead. And Wanda is destined to be the one who rules the world or destroys the world. That is the prophecy, and she hasn't fulfilled that prophecy yet. So I don't think Wanda is dead yet. I still think that she is going to be a vessel for someone like Chthon in order to try and take over the world. She may have destroyed the Darkhold, but the effects of the Darkhold that you can see still affect the person even after the Darkhold has been destroyed. For example, the third eye with Doctor Strange, it must still be affecting Wanda if she's still alive. And maybe that's why she's going to need Agatha Harkness down the line, because Agatha Harkness said, "You are going to need me." And perhaps Agatha Harkness was also corrupted by the Darkhold, and she actually wasn't that bad. That is just me coming up with some wild theories, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and subscribe to the Loading Time podcast, where we talk everything nerd culture and things like this, coming out every 2 weeks on a Thursday. So subscribe, we're on SoundCloud, Spotify, and every platform. And make sure you drop a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel as well for more theory crafting from us. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.